Yo! Hopefully I'm actually live. Okay, I think so. Hi. Now I gotta wait for everyone to come in. I think I turned off the ads. I think. So hopefully the delay is not too bad. We'll see. Hey, Mariel! How are you doing? How was your week? Hopefully it was good. I've been on vacation all week and I have to go back to work tomorrow, and I'm not excited about it. Can't they just pay me to stay home for the rest of my life? And I can still get the discount on books, though. That's what I want. Hey, B. Hey, Shock. Welcome. I have a game ready this time. Same game, guess the book. I made it easy, though. So hopefully, I could ask. I could. I feel like I know what the answer is going to be, but I could ask. I do the social media for our store too, so I'd be like, I'll just like stay home and do social media. The 10%, it's a little more than 10%. It's a pretty good discount. I don't think I'm not allowed to say it's 40%. I get 40% off on books, which is pretty good. So definitely want that discount. Yeah, so while people come in, we're going to play a game because I'm bringing the games back at the beginning of the live stream so I can do like a prize at the end of the year, because I spent way too long making this thing. Hold on, let me pull it up so you can see. Hold on. I spent way too long making this. Look how cute. I don't know. I was really excited about this. So I rolled over the leaderboard from last year because I kind of abandoned it. But yeah, so I'm going to keep it and add to it, and then hopefully hand out a prize, or like first, second, third place prize at the end of the year. So if you attend the live streams, then you can win a prize if you answer the most questions correctly. I don't know what painting you're talking about. I have no, honestly. Would you believe it's literally still unfinished? Actually, I should probably check on the paint, because the paint has, it's just those tiny little tubs of it. I might need to check on the paint. I don't know if the painting could be finished. If the paints, I don't know if it like, sometimes they like separate, or they like, it gets like hard in that little like plastic thing. I might have to check that, because they've been sitting in just, in the room that I used to do live streams in. The painting's just sitting there, and let me check on the painting. Not the painting. I mean, let me check on the paint, because if the paint is unusable, buy new paint, but it's got to match the color. That means I'd have to buy a whole new kit just to get the paint. Well, actually, I don't know. They don't actually have like product numbers on them or anything. Yeah. I don't know. Can mix new paints from the blood of your enemies. I don't think I'm that good of an artist. Well, I don't think I'm an artist, period. But I'm definitely not that good where I can like mix paints to like match and stuff. Although I do get those like TikToks all the time of like people like mixing paint to like match their skin or something like that. It's very impressive. Very, very impressive. So let me check on the paint. If the paint's okay, maybe we'll finish it one day. It has to have been over a year, surely. I'll have to look back on my channel and see when exactly I did that last. But let's play this game really quick, because I'm very excited about my little gore board. So, games. Let's see. So it's the same concept as last time. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can pull the chat up on my phone really quick so I can actually see you guys. Will this work? It will work. It will work. Okay. Oh, I just saw how, like, what the delay is because I heard my voice a little bit. Okay, now I have the chat pulled up on my phone so I can see easier who answers first. So it's going to be the same concept. I have a book cover. I took off the author and the title, and just give me the name of the book. You didn't get no extra points for the author, but if you want to say the author too, that's fine. But it's your typey time. So I made these ones a little easier because I remember last time I maybe unintentionally made them extra difficult. So hopefully these ones aren't too bad. So here's your first one. First comment I see is going to get the points. Ready? Here we go. Number 1. What is the book? Everyone's got to get this one. I think. Hopefully. I don't know. I feel like this cover is iconic. And B, right in there with it. I saw B's first. Good job. Yes, it is Firestarter by Stephen King. I thought that'd be a good topical one because I thought that'd be a good topical one because, you know, they're making a movie? Show. Movie. One of those. They're adapting it again. I think it's a movie. Okay. I got 2 more here. I still haven't read it, but whenever I figure out when the movie/show is coming out, I'll try and read it before then. All right. So here is your second one. And go. This one should be pretty easy too. Yeah, the one with Drew Barrymore. Perfume. No. Oh, Jacques. Jacques got it. I saw Jacques first. You are correct. It is American Psycho. Wow, already like 2 people who are already on my little makeshift board here. Don't worry, I'll put you on the official board later. I gotta get into Photoshop to to add to the board, but by the next stream you'll see your extra points added. So that's a point for Jacques. Mary said I just said whatever, Hellbound. Hey, you know what? This cover could be anything, okay? I mean, I don't even really honestly know what that's supposed to be. I get that it's Patrick Bateman, but I don't know what's going on with his face. I've never read the book. Okay. Seen the movie though. All right, so last one. I feel like this one might be easy also, but could throw you guys for a loop, I guess. I don't see many people talking about this book, but it's been around for a long time. So here you go. Last one. What's the book? Pretty proud of this this Photoshop job. I think Des came in here too, so Des might. I don't know if Des will get it. Des reads a lot. Do we know? Oh, Mindy, right in there. John dies at the end. The hand, not the hand. Mindy, nice one. You are correct. It is John dies at the end. I realized I grabbed the, I guess I should say old cover now with David Wong's name on it. That was a pen name. I didn't know that was a pen name. And now all of his books have come out with his actual name, which is something Pargin or something like that. It threw me for a loop when I was shelving in the horror section. And I was like, is this like a joke? Why are all these books coming in with a different name? And then I had to look it up and I saw that was a kind of irrelevant story, but let me add Mindy to the list here so I can add you to my board for anybody who just came in and you didn't see. I'm just going to show it off again. By the next live stream, you will find your added points, and Mindy, you'll see your name on the scoreboard. Just enjoy that for a second while I write down Mindy's handle there. Very proud of it. So yeah, we're keeping it. So it's a cool cover for that title. Yeah. The other one, that's the one that I have, the one with like the hand on it. There's other ones too, and they made a movie out of it. So I think there's like 2 or 3 different covers for that. John dies at the end anyway. It's a very ugly cover. It's simple. Okay. Anyways, now that the game is over and Ben came in just as we were ending the game. Sorry, Ben. Hopefully some people are here that have read the Gilda stories, because this was a ride. John dies at the end was good. The book or the movie? I think I started the movie and then I stopped it like 2 minutes in because I realized it was a book, and then I was like, oh, I'll read it, and I haven't gotten around to reading it yet. One day. Des. Okay. And Mindy coming through. All right. Really, Marielle? Okay. Now one of your favorites ever. Okay, I love that. Let me just close the chat on my phone really quick because I don't need it anymore. Okay, well, good. Let's talk about it, because this was very interesting. I loved the take on vampires. So I guess we can start. Well, let's just start like overall. What was, those of you that have read it that are in the chat, like what was your overall feeling of the book? Had you heard of it before? Because I hadn't, unfortunately. I don't know why this isn't like talked about more with like vampire books. I don't know, like I don't know. I mean, it looks like it's a smaller publisher, so that might be why it's not as ready available. Definitely feels like a print on demand. That was your initial thought to it, was depression? It's kind of like, it's kind of hopeful and kind of, yeah, it's not, I mean, it's not like Disney movie hopeful, but Mindy said you liked it a lot, didn't like the super long chapters. Some of them felt shorter than others. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. It was an interesting setup, because I guess for any of you in the chat that are just listening and you haven't read it, it's about a vampire, immortal, and the chapters just kind of like bounce like forward in time. It'll like jump a couple of decades, so we're kind of just getting snippets of Gilda's life and kind of like important moments in her very long life. So it's not like there's really no like conflict that overarches, really, I guess, except for like Gilda's development, like her own like character development. But there's not like a big villain or a big like fight at the end or anything like that. It's just kind of like important moments in her life. Yes, very, very different vampire story. I have a couple of like discussion questions that I pulled from a website, which is linked at the very top of the description. There's a lot more questions and things like that. I just pulled a couple that were interesting to kind of like facilitate the discussion, but Pernungian band books. Sorry, I just have this uncanny valley vibe. I don't know if I'd classify them that way, but they are noticeable. Like once you have a few, like once you've seen a couple of them, and like especially when you have it in your hands, I feel like you can tell the difference. Besides the point, though. Hello, Ice Lord. Welcome. Sorry, Jacques, your comment was just funny. As a bookseller, yeah, I understand that. So they were kind of different vampires, which I liked. One of the most notable things that I definitely want to discuss is the way the vampires take blood, like their exchange, I guess. So like they take blood and also leave something, kind of like psychically, I guess is the way to describe it. I'm not really sure. But they like leave something also when they take the blood. So I'm just interested to see what you guys thought of that. I thought it was super interesting and a really like compassionate kind of vampire, but without making it like a cheesy, moody, like white boy vampire who just wants to be loved or something. You know what I mean? It was like it was like romantic, but in a different way. Like I feel like vampires are like inherently very romantic, especially in literature. And this was like so it just like screamed romance at me. Like the idea of like leaving something. It reminded me of that quote from Dracula, which I actually have on a little print from Dracula. It says, "Welcome to my home. Come freely, go safely, and leave something of the happiness you bring." So I don't know if that was like the intent of that like exchange, like as kind of like a callback maybe to Dracula, but like this idea of like, you know, you're taking something and also leaving something behind. Sorry. I love Dracula, so I had that little quote. Ooh, Marielle, yeah. One of the themes, caring about others and making connections. Yeah, big family vibes, connecting to different people. That's like the whole thing. That's like what Gilda's trying to do, despite being, not despite, but while also being immortal. So she can't have these super long lasting connections with everybody. Some of the characters she meets and has these deep connections with are fleeting because they're mortal people, so eventually she has to move on, so they don't get suspicious of her. And of course the other characters die and things like that. So all about our connection to other people, and the ones that stay in our lives for a long time and the people that don't stay in our lives for a very long time. I'm understanding how Marielle got that depression comment too, because it's yeah. Gilda really held on to people and places while the other vampires had no problem letting go, and she had to learn that to be able to stop hurting so much. Yeah, so she was kind of moody, but in a different way. Not in the annoying white boy vampire way, but like in an actual like profound way that would make sense for an immortal being. Ooh, Des, yeah. Philosophy of human relationships as a beneficially mutual exchange. Damn. Like, damn, that's good. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The way that human like interactions should be, you know, people talk about, you know, oh, what's the vampire that they introduce in the What We Do in the Shadows series? Sorry if you hear any noises. I don't know if it's carrying into the microphone. Somebody's being super loud. Like the energy vampires. That's what I was getting at. It's like, you know, interactions with humans are not always like mutually beneficial. But that's how it should be. There should be like a give and a take and an exchange. Yes, romanticized, but done in a really great way. Yes, this is like when I say like vampires are romantic, this is what I'm talking about. This is the vibe. Sounds like that vampire film with Tilda Swinton. Only Lovers Left Alive, Last Lovers Left Alive, something like that. I haven't seen it, but I hear good things. I hear good things. So I guess that I borrowed some questions. Again, the link is right at the top of the description for where I got these discussion questions. I guess that leads into this one. how does the statement that the Gilda stories about vampires being living histories open up a dialogue about race and sexuality through historical views in ways other vampire media has not addressed? Because that's very much the importance of Gilda's story also, like the times that she's jumping through and obviously where she came from, being a Black woman in the United States, and she was a former slave. She is like literally, as the book opens, she's escaped, and that's when she meets the original Gilda and all that stuff happens. But it was a really interesting way to show like the history being carried with her throughout the book, because there's that idea of like home soil, which is not a new concept. You see that in vampire literature all the time, them having to like have their home soil with them or whatever. It's very important in the book, in this lore, that they like have it on them all the time because it gives them power. They usually rest on it, like it's in their mattresses and stuff, so they can stay powerful, not be drained so much. They can withstand the sun a little bit with it. But I love the idea of this like history she carries with her, because in the book she literally never ever goes back to Mississippi, where she's from. That's where her soil is from, and yet she has to carry it with her all the time. And it's this idea of like that it obviously this soil has like a lot of pain for her, but it also gives her power in it. It's a very, I don't know, just like a really, I feel like, sorry if I'm at a loss for words doing this live, but I feel like the author, Jewelle Gomez, really took like a lot of like the vampire myth that we're used to and just like made it like mean something. And it was so much more profound. Like the idea of the home earth stuff or the home soil is not like new to vampires, but seeing it done in such a profound way here was definitely new. About a sense of belonging. Yep. Gilda wanting to find a home and remembering her roots. Yes. And the effect that those roots have on her, like the good and the bad, because she remembers, even if it's vaguely like her time before she became a vampire, like before she escaped her mother and her sisters and all that. And then of course her time at Woodward's, the brothel where she meets the original Gilda, and Bird, of course, which are they're good and bad memories that she carries with her. And that's part of her, I think, wanting to connect to people also, because when she got to Woodward's, they, accepted her and she felt family there. And then throughout most of the book, she is lamenting, how she can't go back there anymore. She can't ever go back there. Oh, the soil, a really powerful aspect of the book. The lived experience of a queer Black woman over time. Literally just having to carry that all the time. It's definitely because intersectionality is a thing, something that I could never understand fully. Not at all. And just the pain and the power that comes from it. It's just handled so well in this. Handled so well. I want more. I was really interested as the book kept going on, because it like jumps through different points of time. And of course, being me, I kind of just like, I could see them at the top of the page. So I kind of just like flicked really fast to see like what decades we were going to go through, because obviously being a queer Black woman that Gilda is, moving through the world starting in, what was it, like 1850, there's going to be some tough shit going on in the world. Not that there isn't today, but I was really interested to read the last two chapters, which were 2020 and 2050, because this was originally published in like the 90s, the early 90s. I'm just going to check really fast to get an actual year. 1991. So I was interested to see what Gomez's take on the future for her would be. I would love to know how she, maybe if she would have like written the chapters differently, if she like rewrote them now, especially the 2021 for sure. But if the 2051 would be mostly the same. It was a very bleak, 2050 was a very bleak chapter, like in terms of what's going on in the world in the book. I mean, I didn't read the actual book. I just wanted to see what years, okay? I did used to have like a compulsive like need to read the last page of a book before I started it. This was when I was like, 12, 13, 14 and an idiot. But no, I didn't actually read anything at the back. I just wanted to see the years. That's all. Got to chapter 2020. I was like, oh boy. It was still bad. Like the stuff that, in the author's future at the time of her writing it, because it was in 1990 when she was writing it. It was interesting to see because things were still going badly, just in a different way. It was more like, it felt more like a climate change kind of thing. Like she didn't outright say that's what was happening, but kind of feels like what might have been happening a little bit, like effects of that and how that, yeah. There's no COVID in the book, so I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. This was written in 1991, so COVID wasn't a thing. What's the sequel? See, that's why I want to know, like, how if she would write chapter 2020 differently, writing it now. That'd be very interesting. That'd be very interesting. But 2050, man, like there's like some shit going on. Like it was like the apocalypse in 2050 in this book. Although it didn't feel like it was too much of a stretch, if I'm being honest. Like I was kind of like, yeah, I could see that happening. I guess maybe with the exception of finding out vampires exist. If we find out vampires exist in 2050, then Jewelle Gomez is a god. Confirmed. Talk about depressing. Yeah. But the ending's kind of hopeful. It's got a hopeful note to it. Things are really bad, but she reunites with her family who, as you guys were mentioning, like were able to be more transitory. Like they moved all over and experienced all these different things and made different connections and were able to then move on. We won't make it that far. We have to for the vampires, okay? We don't have to tell everybody why, but we're going to make the world last at least until 2050 so we can get the reveal of the vampires. It's the end that made me love the book. If it had ended without any shred of hope, yeah. Yeah. It could have easily gone that way. I feel like because Gilda's understandably a little bit moody. She's a little, she is both like solitary and wanting like this family connection. But yeah, so I feel like it could have very easily been a lot more of a depressing ending. But that just would have been too much. I feel like all the shit she went through, it just would have been way too much to just have it end poorly. So I like the way it ended, especially with the two characters she sees, like as her and the new character. I'm sorry if I don't remember her name. Hermes. The woman that she changes just like literally right before the end of the book, pretty much. But the fact that it's Julius and Effie that she's walking towards at the end, two people who I feel like were super important. Not that like Sorrel and Anthony and Bird weren't important, but I feel like Effie and Julius probably got her to the point where she needed to be the most, or got her the furthest, I feel like, in terms of her character development. Humankind will destroy itself, but no, not before 2050. We're getting the vampires, guys, okay? We're getting the vampires. Getting the vampires. Yeah. I also copied down this question because I thought it was interesting that the person posed this question. Do you consider this to be lesbian literature? I don't know if there's a specific definition for that. So hoping maybe one of you guys could tell me if that's like I feel like I should know, right? But I'm gonna look it up. Because it's not really about that necessarily. Not that it's not about that, but it's not, that's not the focus of the book at all, I don't feel like. Yeah, there's no like kind of definition of the genre necessarily. I don't know what kind of box we're fitting it into. It's sapphic for sure. There's a lot of longing, so yeah, I could see that. Her relationship with Bird was also depressing. Maybe it's just me. No, it is. It kind of is. It kind of is. I feel like their relationships, though, are kind of set up to be a little bit confusing because they live for so long. It's like the relationship could be like mother and daughter, like sisters, cousins, lovers, friends, could be like you're know each other for so long. The relationship could be so many different things and transform into so many different things. And that could be depressing, I guess. Like, also the fact that she, I don't want to say abandons Gilda, but she kind of does. She has to like, she's still like working on her own shit, you know, when Gilda kind of, original Gilda, I should say, starts the change for current Gilda, this Gilda. And Bird is left to kind of like pick up the pieces of that. So she's dealing with her own shit also, while also having to make sure that Gilda knows everything that she needs to know and doesn't just turn her loose. Yeah, the whole mother, daughter, sister was cringy, not gonna lie. Like, let's not. Yeah, their relationship is like all of the things, which is, yeah. I feel like that's just a thing only vampires could understand, I guess, if you are immortal. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's definitely sapphic. I liked this quote that's in the, I don't know what copy everybody else had, because I know there's older ones floating around. But this is the 25th anniversary one, I think. And there's an afterword in the back. Hold on, I'm just going to find out who wrote it really quick so I can give credit to the quote, maybe. What the hell is there we go. Alexis Pauline Gums. The quote kind of cut off. I ran out of characters, but she wrote, I hope that reading the novel would give my mother a sense that my life as a queer Black feminist is about something more than my choice of partners. It's also about a relationship to time and people and shared space, is the rest of the quote. It cut me off with the characters. Sorry. Which I feel like just so perfectly describes the book. Because, like, I guess that makes sense with the question, though. Like, is it lesbian literature? Because she doesn't really, any of her romantic relationships aren't really highlighted in such a way, like in that way. So it's more than it's more than her partners. It's about her relationship to like literally everything. I interpreted the vampire relationships as being fluid and oh yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Absolutely. I guess we just have to wait till 2050 to find out. Exactly. See, now we're on the same page. It's almost like she's a human like everybody else. Yeah. That's true. That's true. But that's just like that, especially the last bit. Of course, the bit that it got cut off is like the whole book, though. It's about her relationship to time and people in general and shared space. Like that's what she's trying to learn, like the whole time. What she has to grapple with, come to grips with, figure out as she goes along. Damn, this had a lot in it. I don't think I officially logged it in Storygraph yet, so I didn't have a rating for it yet. I feel like this is a solid like 4.75. I just want like more. Can we just like go to like some like in-betweens? Like we can just, like little in-between chapters. I don't know if the author ever would want to go past 2050. I don't really want to think that far into the future, but she learns to be independent. Yeah, in a way. Yeah. It's not like fully be independent. It's that, at least my interpretation, I guess I should say. That's important distinction. I'm not saying you're wrong. I feel like it's her independence, and that like independence and like family and her relationships to other people are not two separate things. Like they can be the same. Like not everything can be how it was like at the brothel with like, your family around you all the time. Like, so independence doesn't mean you're solo forever. She's not forced to go through this eternal life alone, but also you can't have everyone around you all the time. So like yes and no. Like she learns to be independent, yes, but also that doesn't mean that she's not loved or wanted places. And about identity, definitely. Yeah, like to not be tied to anything. Yes. Sorry, hold on. I'm sitting on my foot. I'm going to change that really quick. Okay. Should not have started the stream like that. 40 minutes sitting on my foot. But yes, to not be tied to anything. I feel like that's the most important lesson, at least from my point of view, that she learns. Because I feel like if she had thought about it, like she would have turned a lot more people. She would have amassed this like huge family. Because she doesn't, there's just certain people that were in her life that she didn't want to let go. But like she like makes those important distinctions that they have stuff to like look forward to, or they have things that they're doing currently in their life, and she doesn't want to like disrupt that by turning them into a vampire. But I feel like she definitely could have turned a whole lot more people. Absolutely. Des says 4.75 for me as well. Yep. Some bits were a little long, but I still say 4.7 out of 5. And we get to see a vampire like die, kind of like that. That was pretty cool. I was kind of satisfied in that because I wanted to know how that was supposed to happen. It made you feel. Definitely could send you into an existential crisis. I feel like if you're not careful, reading this book. Absolutely. I'd be interested to know what anybody else rated it also, if you guys do that sort of thing. I don't know how everybody else does their ratings. Those who did let go were able to live their best vampire lives and do cool things like burn. Yeah. Yeah. Just that important lesson that sometimes your relationships to other people are fleeting and they're not meant to be there for you forever. That's kind of depressing. If I think about that too long, we're going to start crying. So, but excellent point, Des. Yes. Then you can go do cool things like Bird. And Julius. Yeah. And Julius. Well, they all do. That's like their thing. That's the whole point. And not that Gilda doesn't do cool things also. She just tries to hold on. That's all. It's not like a terrible thing, but when you're eternal, it could kind of be a bad thing. Some other ratings. Nobody else had any ratings? Mariel, what did you rate it? Mindy's still in here. I want to know what you guys rated it. If you do, I guess, anyway. Or if just thumbs up, thumbs down. What are your... What's everybody's rating system? I don't know. Take this down. Gave it 5 stars in Goodreads, clearly. Nice. Nice. Yeah. I feel like I'm... Not that I'm like loath to give away a 5-star rating, but now that I have the ability, like on the story graph, to do quarter and half ratings, I like to do them so much more. It is a good read. I feel like you should definitely check it out. It's not that long either. It's only like 250 pages, something like that. With the afterword is 250 pages. It's really not long. Not a long book at all. 3.5 for Mindy. And you were one that pointed out that it dragged a little bit for you in some chapters. So understandable. Some were definitely longer than others, for sure. But yeah, this was a good one. Maybe not like horror in the traditional sense, I guess. More so it's just about vampires. But it's a great read, I guess, for February specifically too. Which will be interesting given next month's book. I don't have it with me yet, but our next read, just really quick before we maybe talk about what else we've been reading, is going to be Manhunt. I didn't realize it was going to come up in front of my face and my hands would still be here. Woo! It's going to be Manhunt by Gretchen Felker Martin. The title and the cover alone. Come on. It's going to be a great fucking read. It dragged because it was depressing. And that's okay. I'm a water sign, so I like this. I like these depressing things. Nice, B. Nice. Loved it, didn't mind it, hated it. It needs to be destroyed forever. Looking forward to Manhunt. Me too! I'm so excited. I actually got an email from Tor Nightfire. They're going to send me a few books. I'm kind of hoping that's in the box because Manhunt is from Tor Nightfire. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that maybe that one's going to be in there. But I mean, obviously, I'll happily purchase it if that's what I need to do. Started reading it and it is wild. Yes, that's what I like to hear. I don't even know if you meant wild in a good or bad way, but yes, controversy time. I guess that'll lead me into... Oh wait, no, not that. What else has everybody been reading this month? Mindy said she finished A Lesson in Vengeance. I'd be very excited to know what you thought about it. I read a lot of manga. One of my coworkers suggested Sweat and Soap, and like literally everybody's been buying that at my store. So I read that like as an e-book. Not horror at all. Just like a cute, kind of weird manga, but it was good. I also got the next volume of Something is Killing the Children. This is volume 4. I keep telling people it's supposed to be being made into a show by Mike Flanagan. I hope that I'm still correct because this is so good. I adore this. I keep telling people Something is Killing the Children. It's great. Been reading this book for the whole month. That's okay. Quality over quantity. I also read some Edward Gorey. I read Amphigory, and then I just jumped right to 3 and got Amphigory also. I have Amphigory 2 on order. These are just like shorts and little things by Edward Gorey. I love his art style and how like macabre he is. Reading The Well of Loneliness, which deals with LGBTQ subject matter. Wow, with a title like that, that sounds depressing a little bit. Is it fiction or nonfiction? It sounds like my biography. Deals with LGBTQ subject matter, and the title is The Well of Loneliness. I'm gonna look that up really quick though. Hold on. I don't want to make a joke of it. Well, I've already made the joke, so never mind. Yeah, I'm assuming it's this one. Oh, yep. The cover looks super gay. Wow. Lesbian novel by British author Radcliffe Hall. All right. Really liked Lesson in Vengeance. Good. Did not really get high school finishing school from it. Definitely felt like college, yeah. I don't get the boarding school stuff. I've never been to a boarding school, so who knows. I also managed, I didn't read all of Needful Things in February, but I finished it. Next time I read a Stephen King book over 500 pages, I'm doing the It thing, and I'm going to read it in 3 days. Because this one took me so much longer to read because I decided just to read it like a normal human and just read it over however long it took me, which was weeks. And then lastly, I finished The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, which I fucking loved. I loved it. Short form Stephen King might be my jam. I don't know. But this was so good. Why is it not a movie? Is it a movie? Somebody please tell me if it's a movie. I already got the surprise that it's a fucking pop-up book, which I need like now. But one of my worst fears is getting lost in the woods. So this was extremely scary to me. Damn, always the depressing stories for us. I thought Gabe was supposed to be happy. Okay, well, I mean, Jacques should have told us it was lesbians, which means it's gonna be depressing because we don't ever get a happy ending, ever. If it's sapphic, I should just say in general, it's not gonna be a happy ending. Not gonna be happy, and it's called The Well of Loneliness. So I mean, it doesn't sound. Sorry, Jacques. Hopefully. Probably haven't finished it yet, but I don't know that the ending's gonna be that good. And by good, I mean like happy. Justice of Kings by Richard Swan. Never heard of it. Sounds like a fantasy book. Oh, definitely a fantasy book. Ooh, debut. Cool. Just dipping my toes into fantasy. This is high fantasy, which kind of scares me. Not gonna lie. But it sounds cool. Naomi, Year of the Witching and Dracula. Trying to finish The Eye of the World. Jesus, and Black Sun. You had quite a variety there. Did you finish Year of the Witching? Because I'd love to know what you thought about it. Or are those ones you're also trying to finish? I can understand you trying to finish Eye of the World. I'm never touching those books. Sorry. They look like too much. And I've heard too many things that it takes like 6 or 7 books for things to start happening. So I don't know that I'll get to that. Sounds like a spoiler for Haunting of Bly Manor. Did you not watch it? I'm not saying anything. Not saying anything. Loved Year of the Witching. Okay. Cool. That was a good debut too. That was that author's first book also, I think, if I remember correctly. Recently started The Husbands of Oh no, I don't all I'll say is my manager read it. Like, my place of work in the bookstore. My manager read it and she cried at the end. So just a warning. I don't know the specifics of what the crying was about because she didn't want to spoil it for me, but she cried. So just keep that in mind. I'm sorry. I don't know, but you were talking about depressing stuff and I just felt like I should warn you. Oh no. I'm sorry. I don't know the details of why it's sad, but is it not sapphic also? Because I'm pretty sure it's sapphic too. You should know. When do we get happy endings? Like never. The Larry Kramer book? My favorite live streams are the ones where I Google in the middle of. Oh. No. What is this? What? What are these? The first book that comes up. I don't like using that word. So I'm not gonna say it. Interesting. Okay, no. I have not read any of their books. The first book just like slapped me in the face as soon as I looked it up. No, I haven't read it. Have not. I'll let you tell me if it's good or not. I feel so bad, Mariel. I'm so sorry. Maybe it won't be sad for you. I don't know. I feel bad. And that's our live stream, folks. That's our live stream, folks. I will say this was a good pick. Good pick. I kind of am. Did I pick this one? Wait, hold on. I might have picked this one. I love how I'm looking at the responses as if they're not. Oh no, somebody else suggested it, and this was anonymous, so now I don't know who suggested it. But whoever did, this was a great choice. So yeah, thank you for coming and having this very awesome discussion. Just another quick reminder before we leave it. Next month's book is Manhunt. So if you haven't picked it up yet and you want to, it literally just came out this past week. So should hopefully be able to find it pretty easily. And just a reminder that this next Saturday's video is not like a video. It's going to be a live stream for a February wrap up. So letterboxed wrap up thing. So thank you for coming. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And I will talk to you soon. Good night / day, wherever you are in the world. Bye.